Ask Me Anything. I was a story and field producer for Jersey Shore, seasons 1 and 2.
Is Paulie a nice guy or a douche outside of the cameras?
He's friendly. But when the cameras are down, he's extremely reserved. Carrying a conversation with him can be like pulling teeth.
Which cast member was the worst to work with and why?
Angelina. Dear God. I still have PTSD.
Was the Ron and Sam fight in season 3 even worse than we saw?
It was horrible and far more intense than what aired. Some inside knowledge for you. When you see a fight scene that's quite choppily edited and intercut with talking head footage, also called interviews, the producers are trying to hide the breaking of the fourth wall. And during that fight in particular, the fourth wall was broken a couple of times. It's hard because you develop a working relationship with these people, but you are also with them 24/7 basically. So it's hard to separate human emotions from staying professional. We were seeing incredible television being made before our eyes, but at the detriment of 2 kids. It still doesn't sit right with me.
Were you there when Snooki got high-fived in the face? Was that guy prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law?
That still blows my mind. I think he got probation and paid a fine.
Were the crew, production etc. aware of how much drugs were being taken and just turn a blind eye?
We had a hunch but never any solid proof. Nobody turned a blind eye to that because it's such a huge liability. Sadly, business trumps morality. Nobody probably cared they were doing drugs because of it being such a toxic habit. We cared because it could potentially threaten the cash cow.
I've read that the cast is not allowed to write anything down or pass notes. Why did production allow the girls to write the note? I know obviously the idea of the drama that would ensue was a factor. But why would the girls have even had the idea if they were under the impression they were not allowed to write any notes whatsoever? Was this event encouraged, suggested and or created by producers?
So Jenny and Nicole's logic was that Samantha would immediately think production wrote the note because the roommates didn't have access to computers. They also tried to frame it in a more mature voice to throw her off the scent. We allowed it to take place because we knew that it was the only way for Ron's behavior to come out that season, and no matter what happened, we were going to blow the lid off that it wasn't production who wrote the note. We didn't tell her who specifically wrote it, but we did say that it was not us and a roommate. If we didn't allow the note to begin with, Samantha would have only found out after that season aired. And at the time, Miami was going to air while we filmed season 2B in Jersey. We ended up letting them watch Miami while in the house, but that decision only came to be like a couple days before Miami aired. So, if we didn't allow them to watch it, she would have only found out about everything that happened in Miami and reacted to it during the Italy season. Talk about a slow burn. We needed her to find out then and there. But she flipped the script on all of us by taking her anger out on Nicole and Jenny. That we did not expect at all. But it was the best twist ever. Ask Me Anything. I was a story and field producer for Jersey Shore, seasons 1 and 2.
How did they break the fourth wall? I'm assuming Sam asking like, why didn't you tell me to the producers? Or are they talking into the camera during a fight?
Yelling at cameras and production to stop the fight. I remember hearing something along the lines of, how are you gonna sit there and let this happen? Don't quote me on who exactly said it because it was so long ago, but I have a feeling it was Vinny.
Do you think Ron and Sam really loved each other? Could they have made it if they were a bit more mature?
Hindsight is 20/20. I really don't think they would have made it either way.
Along those lines, do you mind me asking for details about the Miami fight between Sammy and Jen? Was it similar to this one?
The only thing I remember being cut from the original broadcast was Ron physically pushing Jenny off of Sam and into a wall, and Jenny yelling at him for touching her.
What was the atmosphere like after the Ron/Sam fight in season 3, especially when he broke her glasses and then after she left? Did production ever talk to Ron about his actions? On TV, it always seemed like Ron received a pass or that his castmates were afraid to call him out. Did a single person ever say anything to him about what he'd done?
Production never stepped in because we wanted to keep it authentic and organic. What was happening was a television goldmine and production had no hand in it. We wanted it to play out as naturally as possible. I think Ron got a pass because he truly was the definition of a henpecked husband. If you see Ron from season 1 and then see him in season 3, he is a shell of the person that he used to be. I think both of them were toxic for each other, but I also believe that Ron was poked at so often that his explosion was inevitable. I'm not making any excuses for what went down on either end, but I think that's why he got a pass. If I could describe them both, I would say they were both leeches. They sucked the fun out of each other. I don't think this footage made the air, but when I say she poked at him, I mean that she would make passive-aggressive and rude comments to him all the time for no reason. She would make fun of his outfit, how he would chew his food, etc. She would zero in on minutia and make a big deal of it. And this is before Miami.